Hey, college wrestling fans, it's JT1Wrestle here. And have I got a treat for you? I have on today the runners, the guys who run the website and the Twitter page of D3Nation, probably the country's best NCAA Division III website, NCAA Division III information. If you love NCAA Division III wrestling, you have absolutely got to follow these guys. Please welcome to the show Gennaro and Anthony Bonaventura.
Thanks for having us.
You
Glad to
bet.
be here. We had you on the show last year, so happy to return the favor and talk some D3 wrestling.
You bet. So both of these guys are well credentialed in the world of D3 wrestling. Anthony was a two-time NCAA Division III national qualifier, made the NCAA Division III national finals as a senior. Also got her done in the classroom as an NWCA Scholar All-American, now the head coach of Stevens Tech. Gennaro was a football and wrestling standout for Waynesburg. His senior year was one match away from being an NCAA Division III national qualifier, as now the head coach in NCAA Division II Fairmont State. What we're going to be doing for you guys today is a really fun episode where we're going to be going back and forth, picking out NCAA Division III sleepers and dark horses. These are kids that maybe the rankings and maybe the wrestling community isn't thinking too much of right now, but we think are going to have outstanding seasons. I'm going to start it off at 125 pounds. My pick here is a senior from Centenary, Jack Thody, a kid from Delaware. Thus far has been fifth and fourth at regionals. And if you read his bio and talk to this kid or listen to this kid talk with other interviews, his number one thing he says about being successful on the mat and successful in the classroom and successful in life is people need to believe in themselves. And I think if this kid believes in himself this year, he can be an All-American.
Yeah, I know that wrestler very well. They're in Region 2, so they're in our region, and he just could not get by the Ithaca wrestler last year, who ended up being a true freshman national qualifier. The name is slipping my mind at the moment, but I do like that pick. I do believe 25 definitely loses some firepower this year. Definitely a guy that I guess he's been in the ranks and had success. Probably not the success that he wanted last year. And this is I'm talking about Gavin Bradley from Castleton. He was an All-American in 2024, but missed the podium last year in 25. So, you know, with the preseason rankings, right? It's all based on last year NCAA performance. So he's going to start probably lower than he was ranked all last year, but I would imagine Bradley's definitely going to be in the mix for a very high finish this year.
Yeah, and then another guy coming back with, pretty solid career, different kind of career than most. He was a backup, but he was a backup to arguably one of the best 25 pounders ever. I'm speaking about Josiah Fry. This is Harrison Gordon. He is now at NYU, and he was the one seed in his region last year, but ended
Yeah,
up
Region
not.
3. Yep, one seed in
Yeah,
Region 3 last year.
ended up not qualifying. There was a few upsets in that region that some quality guys didn't make it out of that region. Pretty tough region. You have TC and J in there, Messiah, Alvernia. Pretty good mix of guys. Muhlenberg. I believe that there was an All American also in that weight class that didn't even make it out either. Is that
Yeah, Joey Lampereri, he was also an All-American back in 2023.
Still
Um,
last year, wasn't he?
yeah, and last year was his last year. He graduated last year. Yep.
okay? So, but yeah, I think obviously you think Harrison will be ranked to start the year, right?
Yeah, I mean, he'll for sure be in the top 15. I'm pretty sure he was ranked like top 10 all last year, and he might have even been undefeated going into regional tournament.
Wow.
Might have been his
Yeah.
first two losses. So I do like that Gordon pick. That's definitely he's definitely got some solid wins under his belt, and he had a heck of a season last year. Just the regional tournament's unforgiving.
Sometimes it's not your weekend, but yeah, that's someone I definitely keep an eye on for sure.
All righty, guys, at 133 pounds, I'm going to overstep my boundaries here a little bit because I got two guys. I couldn't narrow it down to one. So my first pick at 133 pounds is another kid from Centenary, this time a Jersey kid, Danny Haas. He has been third, first at regionals. I'm very surprised he hasn't made the D3 podium yet. Not only do I think he has the talent to make the D3 podium, I think he has the talent to stand on top of the D3 podium. So that's pick number one. Pick number two is Art Martinez of Case Western Reserve. A kid proving to the wrestling world that kids from the Southeast, this is a Georgia kid. And so far, he has been fifth, fourth at regionals. Last year had a 40-10 record, already has surpassed 100 career wins. He was fifth at Pete Wilson. And also, for the record, he's a three-time NWCA Scholar All-American. If I were a genie or somehow made things happen, I can even see this even without any interference whatsoever. I can see Art Martinez versus Danny Haas in the NCAA Division III finals. That's how good I think both of these guys are.
Wow. All right. I like it.
Go ahead, G. Why don't you go next?
Obviously a name that, kind of put everyone on notice last year with some big wins, but didn't have his kind of tournament. We're going to go with Johnson and Wales, Peyton Ellis. He had some really big wins. He beat Mollander to start the year. And just it wasn't his weekend. The D3 bracket's bigger now with more qualifiers, and Jay Will still was able to go without him having a big tournament. He actually started the tournament as the 2 seed and ended up not placing. So obviously, I think he'll be in the mix. I also like Polino out of Roanoke. I believe he has another year. Am I right about that, Ant?
Oh yeah, yeah. That Polino was only a freshman last year. That's Jonah Polino.
Okay, and he was the 6 seed. So I expect both of them to do some pretty big things this year.
Yeah, I like everything you're talking about right now. I definitely had the Peyton Ellis one as well. Just because of the season he had last year. I mean, if you look at his draw at the NCAA tournament, he wrestled Parkey, who took second, and then he wrestled Hinton, who was a multiple-time All-American in the blood round, and Hinton ended up taking third last year. So that's just a very, very tough draw. Let's see if I can just looking at the blood round last year at 33. Um, I guess someone you can keep your eye on too, going back to Ithaca, will stay in my region. Torres, he was an All-American back in 2024. Blood round last year. Spent some time at 41 last year. Definitely didn't have the regular season he was looking for, but that's a guy that shows up in the postseason. So Torres, Isaiah Torres from Ithaca. Not sure if he'll be at 33 or 41 to start the year, but he wrestled all of his postseason so far at 133. So I would imagine he's back down. And yeah, that region too has some heavy hitters that definitely can make some noise this year. That's what I'm looking at 133.
Moving on to 141 pounds, my pick here will be University of Whitewater's Evan Onstad. Didn't have a great regional last year, was sixth at regional, but he did wrestle very well at other times during the season, including a very impressive fourth place finish at the Pete Wilson Invitational. He was also third at the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. He had a 17-14 win over All-American Tommy Thongsing, and he also had a 12-11 win over round of 12er Hayden Myers.
Yeah, that's our pick. And
So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's very early on, so his rosters really aren't finalized yet. But Soda from Johnson and Wales was ranked as high, I believe, as second or third in the country. Lost a spot to Jake Eckery last year, who ended up losing the blood round. So they had two really, really good 141s last year. So there's two sodas. There's Zach Soda and Cameron Soda. I believe the one at Johnson Wales was
Cameron.
Cameron.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if Cameron's still there. I mean, he was a big 41. It'll be interesting to see if he's up at 49 now or if he's at 41 again. So definitely interested to see how that kind of plays out. Staying in the New England region, you just mentioned Hayden Myers from Wesleyan. He was very exciting to watch last year, and I think I think if he continues his trajectory, he could be definitely All-American contender this year at 141 as well.
Stoda had the big win over Wilson, right? Is that correct?
Yep,
And
opening Ithaca Invite last year. That's correct.
gotcha. Yeah. 41, man. We were talking. I was just talking, before the episode, about Division Two's Super Region One heavyweight being the toughest weight in a region. 41 might have been the toughest weight in a region for D3. I believe that's Region 4 now. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So that firepower is now gone. So it opens the doors for some people. I'm gonna go with some guys that were qualifiers but didn't have the best tournament. Jalen Shroop, he from Loris. Is this record right? He was 11-6 going into the tournament last year.
Galen
Guys,
might be
real
done
Yeah, I was gonna
too.
say real quick here. It's pronounced Schropp. He's from my region. I used to wrestle with his I'm not sure if it's an uncle or older brother or what, but he's from Williamsburg, Iowa,
Okay.
and I'm 100% positive
I
he
think he's done. I
Oh,
think
he's
he's
done.
done.
Okay. Okay. And then the other
Great
one that
career though
popped.
at Loris. Really good career at Loris.
Yeah, really good. That record popped up to me on the screen because he was 11-6 at nationals last year, going
Yeah,
into nationals. Got it done in regionals though, and then Muhlenberg's Andrew Lewinsky. Am I saying that right?
I believe
Lewinsky.
so. Yes.
Had a really good regional tournament. Made the national tournament. He was 30-14 last year. Had good experience last year. I'm expecting him to make strides, and kind of have a better showing, not just in the postseason, but also throughout the regular season. But that's a lot of matches. So a lot of experience to grow from.
Before we move on to 149 pounds, I do want to give a quick shout out to what I think is an absolute true dark horse, an absolute true sleeper. This guy has never been varsity. Freshman, sophomore, and junior season, he was behind somebody else. His name is Josh Robison of North Central. Has yet to make the
Mm.
varsity. I think he will be varsity this year. What sticks out to me about him is he has fourth, eighth, and second place finishes at Pete Wilson, which, in my opinion, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but Pete Wilson, in the opinion of JT1Wrestle, is the toughest in season D3 tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I definitely still think it's
Yeah.
up there. Some tournaments that are close, CUW Open and the North Central Invite has actually really stepped up its game. Their field is unbelievable. But yeah, I would agree with you. Pete Wilson's for sure. That's been definitely like they call Midlands the granddaddy in D1 wrestling. It's been around and Whedon's done a great job there for sure.
All righty, guys, we're going to move on to 149 pounds. Going to go with kind of a homer pick here. And Coase Dresden Grimm. He's a kid from Illinois. Thus far, he has been sixth and fourth at regionals. He had an extremely impressive 9-0 major decision over round of 12 or Brett Back. I always want to call him Black, but there's no L in there. Brett Back. He also had a 15-9 decision over Tyler Starr and a 14-2, almost teching Chase Pfizer in NCAA Division III qualifier. Speaking of North Central Invitational, he was third there, and then he also won the co-invite.
Okay.
Yeah, really good. He's anytime you're cracking the lineup at Co as a freshman and doing big things, which he's had the last few years, that's very impressive. I'm gonna go to Region 4 for mine, and I'm looking at Washington Elite Evan Linder. He uh, he is a multiple-time qualifier, lost in the blood round last year. I'm very curious to see how his season will go if he can stay healthy. He's definitely battled some injuries during the regular season, but every single time, I think he got the Ironman award last year in Region 4. I'm pretty sure he lost first round in Region 4, and he made it all the way back to third place finish, and then one match away from being All-American. He's been a staple in their lineup since he's been there. And yeah, excited to see what he does. I believe he's going to his senior year there, and yeah, definitely. WNO does a great job really growing those guys, developing them, and excited to see what he does this year at 49.
Two come to mind for me. First, one that didn't qualify for nationals is Avery Leonard out of now he's at Oneonta.
Correct.
Um,
Yes.
He had a really good season. I think going into regionals, he had one loss on the year, and it was to the finalists in Trone,
Yeah.
of Cortland. Um, but we were talking another tough weight nationally in a region. I mean, that was your region, Ant. I mean, there was well, that was like 5 or 6 deep, seven maybe.
Yeah. The top six in the region in Region 2 last year were ranked nationally at one point. Yep, last year. So very, very tough. Leonard actually did win most tech falls too. He won the NCAA Statistical Award, most tech falls last year. So he is very fun to watch. Was a qualifier for Alvernia during his freshman year at Alvernia. He spent 2 years at Alvernia and then Oneonta last year, and looking to take the next step up. But that's a great pick, Avery Leonard. I do like that.
Yeah, and the other one, he was a qualifier. He's had a great career so far. He actually just transferred schools. He has a ton of wins. A little beat up last year, probably from his freshman year because he had so many matches. This is Taylor Smith, who is now at Roanoke. Started his career at W&J. He is a two-time regional champ already. Um, and then another one I just got to throw out there real quick. Josh Carmen of Mount Union. He was a West Liberty transfer. Had a really good regional tournament. Ended up not qualifying. So that region will be pretty tough because Roanoke's still in that region. So Taylor Smith will be there still. Carmen's Mount Union will be there, and
Lender.
Linder. So
Yeah.
they're like you just talked about. So that'll be a pretty tough weight in that region. But those are my picks for sure.
Awesome.
Really good picks here so far. Going to move on to 157 pounds. My pick here, it was a freshman last year, one of the best freshmen I think we saw all season. Talking about Henzo Augusto of Elmhurst. He went 34-5 last year. This guy is from right nearby Illinois. Um, he was second at regionals and one match away from being a D3 All-American last year, and he won Pete Wilson as well as winning the Collegiate Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. Why I really like Augusto is I think those 5 losses he had last year were simply, straight out of high school into college. You're getting used to the college grind. You're going to take a few slumps. This is a guy that I think that if he is in the right statement mentally, he could end up being a 3-time D3 national champion. That's how good I think this guy is.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely a big statement there. He wrestled at a very tough weight class last year. 257 does lose some firepower. Uh, yeah, so he definitely caught my eye jumping onto the scene last year. Some really, really good results early on. I'm gonna go back to Castleton here. Nate Camascoli, multiple-time national qualifier, has not had the NCAA tournaments that he's won. He's qualified twice now, but I'm pretty sure I don't know if he's won. I'm looking at the bracket here. He has one win in his two NCAA championship appearances, but very, very high level guy. Guy from New Jersey who had a great career and obviously jumped into Castleton's line when he transferred in 2 years ago and has done a great job. So yeah, Nate Camascoli, I'm definitely he'll probably be another guy starting the season top 15 in the country, but definitely going to be in the mix to be on the podium this year.
Sweet. And then I'm gonna go with the guy that your guy wrestled at nationals. This is Gavin. How do you say his name again? Pasco, I believe, from Gettysburg. Gavin Pasco. He was a true freshman qualifier. 0-2 at the tournament, but a solid freshman year. Looking for him to make some big gains. And then the other person that comes to mind is the twin brother, Casey Smith, who also is now at Roanoke. So Roanoke kind of lost some firepower, but they reloaded with two national qualifiers from W&J to kind of be in the middle of their lineup. Be interesting to see how they do and develop under Coach Yetzer.
Let me tell you guys like your East Coast wrestlers.
Yeah,
All
that's
righty, so
right.
you can kind of tell
We
that I
gotta
like
show
my.
we gotta show love for the guys we see the most, right?
That's
So
right, right. So, and you can tell that I got some kids on here from the Midwest. I mean, imagine that, right?
yeah.
So, speaking of the Midwest, my 165-pound pick is a guy that I've been watching wrestle since high school. I think he's much better than what he's been performing. Not that he hasn't been performing well, but I think he can perform even better. Talking about Bryce McDonough of Luther, he has been fifth, fourth, fifth at regionals thus far. So we're talking a match or two away from being a D3 qualifier as a freshman, sophomore, and junior. Probably his most impressive win last year was an 8-3 decision over blood round Brian Petrie. So I think McDonough, I don't see any reason at all why he can't at least be top 21 by the end of the season this year.
Go
You
ahead,
want to go
G1,
first?
you go next.
I'm gonna stay with my East Coast guys. We got another Gettysburg kid, Justin Ritchie. He's had a solid career. Starting, about 500 wrestler, then really hit stride. Last year was his best year for sure. First time qualifier. Didn't have the tournament he wanted last year at nationals, but I think he's a Whitfield kid. He's been around wrestling his whole life. I think he can hit the podium this year for sure. He's a pretty solid wrestler.
Yeah, and I mean we can mention both these guys' names for the last two weights, but I'm gonna go to Region 6 here. The Martinson brothers. Announced
Yeah,
they
good pick.
announced last year that actually they're transferring. They were at Central last year. One qualified, one didn't. Now they're at Wartburg, and yeah, I mean those are big pickups for Wartburg's lineup, and interested to see how they fit in at 57-65 for them. And I definitely think both of them can make some noise at 57-65 this year.
Really like
That
that
was
pick. Sorry, I
yeah.
was just going to say real quick, I really like that pick a lot. I mean, these are two guys that you got to remember, they're coming from the University of Iowa. So they have some NCAA Division One experience. And
Yes.
I think if they would have stayed at Iowa, they very well could have made the varsity lineup there by the time they were seniors. So we're talking about guys that it's not like they weren't good enough to be D1. They were good enough to be D1. Maybe not right
Mhm.
away, but within time with development and getting better, stronger, all that good stuff. So I think, going down to D3, that these guys are going to be, as they say in professional wrestling, forces to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, they both had really good years. That Region 6, just like every regional, but Region 6 in particular is very, very unforgiving. Just looking at the 57-pound weight class for the one Martinson, you had the third place finisher and eighth place finisher in that region. So two All-Americans. 65. The 65 did make it out. But yeah, I think both are. I mean, I think they were in good situations at Central, but obviously Wartburg has had more success at the national level. So getting into that room, definitely going to be interested to see if they can jump levels there for sure.
Yeah, and how many years of eligibility do those guys have left?
I think three. I think three because I think they redshirted at Iowa, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken.
Okay.
That sounds right, yeah.
Um, there was, a few guys that, kind of caught my eye at 74.
We're
Austin,
still we're still at 65 right
oh,
now.
65, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We could jump to 74 though. Why don't you go
Yeah,
here?
yeah, why not go ahead?
Okay. Yeah, at 65, I mean, there was definitely some, lower guys. Obviously, we talked about Jack Richardson, from JWU. He was the 60 at Nationals, didn't end up placing, but he'll, obviously look to climb the podium there. He went 30-7 last year. Um, and then I mentioned Richie. I'm sorry, at 65. So at 74 was the Austin Brass is a true freshman with 37 wins. Had an early tough loss at nationals, and I think he made all the way to the blood round. I think I could see him pretty high on the podium this year. I like him a lot. I thought he had a really really good year. And then there was one more that kind of caught my eye. And if you want to go next while I find them,
Yeah, I'm sorry. And what was the name you mentioned there, G? I'm sorry.
this was Austin Brass of
Oh
Messiah.
yeah, from Messiah. Yep, Blood Round. We can stick with Blood Round losers here. Again, looking to hear it like Coming. They have some definitely heavy hitters up top. With Wagner at 65 and Nolan Ziegler here was in the Blood Round. He lost to a tough customer in Estrada last year in the Blood Round, but Ziegler is very solid. I think he had close to 40 wins last year. Definitely expecting some things out of the Lycomian grappler at 174.
That was actually the one. Great minds think alike. I
There you
saw.
go.
I remember seeing him last year. He was a D1 transfer.
Yep. Same
And
thing
then
with Wagner. Both those guys were D1 transfers.
yeah, solid guys. Yeah.
I'm gonna make the Bonaventura boys happy here because my 174 pick is an East Coaster. Kid from Pennsylvania wrestling for Ursinus. Going to go with Tony Sorelli.
There you
He had
go.
32 wins last year, fourth at regionals, was a Centennial Collegiate Conference champion, had a very nice 8-5 win over Blood Rounder Austin Brass, who you guys just mentioned not too long ago. Sorelli is a real estate major at Ursinus, so I'm thinking he's going to find a place and buy some property on that award stand at the end of the year.
I
So
like
guys,
it.
with that said, real quick, we are out of time for this episode. This is gonna have to be a two-parter. I'm gonna invite you guys back on here in just a little bit to do
O-
184 through heavyweight. I want to
Okay.
thank both of you for being on, and hopefully we can get right around to doing part two here.
Sounds good.
Works for me.